Hello, everyone. My name is Tiric. I'm Associate Director at ACT. And before we start, I would like to congratulate the team that organizes the event, and thank you for having me today. I joined DCT back in 2019. I was lucky enough to work on one of the largest data centers in Ireland at that time. I was leading the BIM coordination process. Since then, I was working my way up to the managerial roles, and I was leading digital construction management department. I was also leading the task team that got us ISO 19650 certification, the first one for the BIM consultancy in the construction industry in Ireland. When it comes to our projects, we are working across all project stages. Starting from concept design to the construction, we are working across all sectors: infrastructure, data centers, pharmaceutical, residential, commercial, and we are supporting our clients across all those stages of the project. Today, I will map out the process for you. Digital construction management process on the fit-out phase of the retrofit project. We'll go through all the project stages, design, construction, and then we will use 2 DCT fit-out projects as an examples. Why retrofit projects? There is increasing demand. On desirable locations across all the larger cities, there is increasing demand for refurbishment of the existing assets. Beside that, reduce cost, delivery of the project in a really, really short period. And also, you're hitting much easier those sustainability goals, and you are able to align with energy efficiency standards. I have to point out, when it comes to the retrofit projects, they consist of the base build phase and fit-out phase. Each of those phases, we consider them as a separate projects, which means that they have their own project stages that are usually overlapping. Project A is a global tech company, and its headquarters for Europe, Middle East, and Africa. It's the second largest campus of this client in the world, and one of the most sustainable offices in Europe. With its size of 58,000 square meters, it's located in Fibonacci Square in Dublin. The project contains of 2 6th-floor buildings, 3 basement levels, and those 2 buildings that are connected with the glass bridge on the level 3. In the center of the building, you have a garden plaza. It contains multiple open office spaces, meeting rooms, conference rooms, and then the common areas. When it comes to the gym and facilities, they're of course in basement. Project B, again, headquarters, but this time for the largest law company in Ireland by number of the solicitors. With its size of 50,000 square meters, it's located on one of the desirable locations in Dublin, North Walkie. This building, it contains of 7 levels. During the retrofit of the project, 2 new levels that were added, also rooftop terrace, atrium, and then dedicated client level. I have to mention that when it comes to this building, it's also equipped with a smart technology. And when it's designed to be the first net zero carbon building in Ireland. DCT role during the design stage of the project. We were information managers on behalf of the lead appointed party, which means that we were leading the BIM coordination and doing all the good stuff that information managers usually do during the design stage of the project. When it comes to the construction stage of the project, we were overseeing what the GC is doing on their side and how they are managing their BIM coordination process. REBA stage 3. We are starting with the design stage of the project. The first thing that we are doing, we are developing the BIM documents on behalf of the client. EIR, we are listing the client requirements, how the project what is expected to be delivered at the end of the design and construction stage of the project. We are creating asset information requirements. We are specifying what the information needs to be added for the maintainable asset, and then considering that everyone is always complaining that it's really hard to understand AIR and read AIR, we developed additional document, asset information model requirements, where we put examples, and then we put additional description how this needs to be delivered. Beside that, we create a couple of more documents that are supporting the process, and are actually appendix to the EIR document. So here you can see supply chain assessment form in documents like CD acceptance and audit criteria. The next thing is, because now we are moving to the information manager role on behalf of the lead appointed party, we are creating another pack of the documents. Here, the most important document is BIM execution plan. We are specifying the process that we will be following in order to deliver the project. In detailed responsibility matrix, we are explaining what needs to be delivered. And then in task information delivery plan, when something needs to be delivered. And of course, a couple of additional documents that are, again, supporting the process and explaining this in more detail, like mobilization plan, risk register compliance plan, and information management assignment matrix. Stage 3 is ideal time to start with the training session. You already know which CDE you are using. You are creating folders. You know which collaboration tool you will be using. You are just scheduling a training session, recording the training session, keeping the video on the CD so everyone can have easy access to it. And then you are just creating a process document step by step that are supporting the whole process and that everyone can have access to in case maybe they need more information. Beside that, this is a time where it's actually great if you want to introduce some lessons learned from the previous projects. If you have, let's say, the projects that you were working on that are similar to this one, you can schedule a call, go to some lessons learned that you want to implement on this one, and then just adjust the process accordingly. REBA stage 4. We are starting with the BIM coordination process. The first thing that we will do, we will establish weekly or a bi-weekly process. You are defining the day when the uploads is happening, when the models will be available on the CDE, the day when you will be reviewing the federated model and creating the agenda for the BIM meeting, and then you are specifying when exactly your weekly call will be happening. Beside that, you also need to give teams some time during the week just to work on their models and then just to resolve the problems, follow with all those actions that you actually agreed during the BIM meeting. When we are doing the preparation for the BIM call, we are reviewing the federated model. It depends about the software that you are using. You can upload the federated model to the CDE, or you are using a live model, but you need to prepare the agenda. It can be issues or the viewpoints that you are raising and that you will be discussing during the BIM call. Before the BIM call, you are issuing a report. Just to let everyone know what will be discussed, you are giving them enough time to find the possible solutions for the problems that we will be discussing, just to ensure that that conversation and meeting is actually proactive and that collaboration is happening during the call. Beside that, I have to mention that it needs to be communication between fit-out team and the base-build team. Because the issues that are happening on the fit-out side, they have impact on the base-build team and they can support you. So you can pull out some kind of reports from the software that you are using. You can create different kind of trackers just to put information inside, tell them what the problem is, and then they can fix this on their side and deliver you updated base-build models that you can use as a part of your BIM coordination process. Here, we'll just point out a couple of biggest problems that usually happen across all the fit-out projects. So the first thing is connection points between the base build and fit-out. So that's the first thing that you will have to check. The next thing is accuracy of the existing elements. You need to have that information in order to develop your design and to avoid rework. No flying zones. They are in the ceiling voids above meeting rooms. So if you have this inside your model, that will allow you to properly design your MEP services layout. We have MEP risers, again, a critical item when it comes to the BIM coordination. Rainwater pipes, they're usually included inside the base build scope, so you need to be really careful. If that information is visible inside the model, you have to coordinate and work around it, or there will be the installation on site and then possible new installation. And of course, MEP services inside the ceiling void, because the ceiling void is never enough large to fit all the services that need to go inside. When it comes to reporting, you are reporting upwards and you are reporting downwards. When it comes to reporting upwards, you are issuing a monthly report to the client. You need to keep in mind that information they are adding inside is easier to read and to someone who maybe has a non-technical background. So you're just adding, let's say, the activities from the previous month regarding BIM coordination process or percentage about the progress in resolving the issues that you're having inside the model. When it comes to reporting downwards, you are reviewing the Revit models. You're preparing Revit health check dashboards and then adding the issues that needs to be picked up and resolved inside your 3D models, such as Revit warnings. You are cross-checking if the shared coordinates are okay, and then if they are adjusted inside the 3D models. Riva stage 5. We are starting with the construction stage of the project. So this is actually the stage where the games begin. During this stage, we are overseeing the BIM coordination that GC is doing on their side. Beside that, the first thing that they will have to do, they will need to scan the base build elements, and then they need to ensure that they're actually using that information for the further BIM coordination process. They need to develop their own BIM execution plan, because we defined what we are expecting to be delivered inside the EIR document, but they need to tell you how they're actually planning to deliver the project. They're sending this for our review and approval, and then they're telling us what they're planning to do. So they're splitting the building layout across multiple zones that needs to be coordinated, clash-free, and frozen before something can be actually installed on site. The next process that we have during the construction stage is verification process. The level of accuracy of the 3D elements, it needs to be defined inside the EIR document. On project A and project B, we had plus minus 20 mil, so that means that the laser scanning needs to be introduced. That means the GC, they need to specify inside their BIM execution plan how the verification process will actually look like. They need to tell us the number of the laser scans, the areas that they're actually planning to scan, and then they need to tell us the program. We need to know the dates when we will be getting that information. Each verification process, it can be broken down into smaller steps. But just to simplify this for you, it goes scanning the existing building, then the data is being processed, the data is being shared, the report is being created regarding discrepancies between the point cloud or markers from site, and then a 3D model. It's being shared with the subcontractors. They're updating their 3D models based on the report that we issued. And then they're reissuing the models again. And then we are doing re-verification, and we are issuing a final report. And this is a process that you can apply multiple times. It depends about how many phases you actually have on the project. During project A, we were also appointed by GC side to do the laser scanning. First, what we actually do, did we agreed the program. So when exactly those point clouds needs to be delivered, and then when the verification process will be happening. We were using the latest equipment to do the survey on site. We were using Leica equipment when it comes to the scanners, and then multi-station, and then Cyclone for the registration. When we did the scanning on site, we were actually using the field 360. And then information, it was transferred back to the office. We were using the Cyclone register just to do the registration in more depth. And then Cyclone was also used just for us to set up the controls for the georeferencing. When the final QA was done, then the data was exported in the format that was required by project standards. When we did the verification by using the Verity software, we did the analysis. And by using this software, you can actually pull out the summary table, but also reports in the PDF or any different kind of format, where you can exactly see on each specific element what are discrepancy between what is inside the model and what is actually scanned on site. Those reports, they are with the point clouds, of course, they are issued to the GC and subcontractors, but also when it comes to the discrepancies of the elements, the result of this analysis is actually NWD file, which means that inside Navistructs file, you have viewpoints. You have viewpoints that actually specify each specific element that needs to be adjusted. So actually the software, it does all the work for you. When it comes to the finalization and then rerunning the verification again, we need a final report that we'll be using for the QC, that will be delivered to the client, just for them to know that they actually are receiving the accurate information. So. And then the last part of the verification process is asset information checks. So what we need to do, we have to check is all the asset information that was required inside our AIR document, is this actually inside the models? So what we are doing, we are comparing AIR, and we are comparing the information that is inside the model. All the discrepancies and information that it's missing is being pulled out from the Revit, it's put inside the spreadsheet or a report, and then it was issued to the subcontractors. Like, this is missing, this is what we need you to adjust inside the models, and then to send them back again. The last handover stage. What we have here is integration with the FM system, and then as-built information regarding models, drawings, asset registers, any relevant documents. They are being handed over to the client and archived. Based on our experience on the Project A and Project B, we captured a few points that we want to point out as the lessons learned. The first point will be start with the end in mind, which means include the facility management team at the start of the design process, because they will help you to specify asset information requirements by telling you what exactly they need. The second point is capability. BIM capability of the teams that are involved in the BIM coordination will set the pace for your BIM coordination process. You will know exactly what is missing, which training needs to be provided, and how much energy you will actually have to involve in the BIM coordination process in order to make this work. Then, timely escalation of the issues and non-conformances. If someone is not following the process, you need to highlight this as soon as possible during the coordination process, because there's always someone who can do a slight push in order for the teams to actually do their job. Task information delivery plan. Let teams add the dates inside the documents. When they add the dates inside the documents, they actually need to follow them, and then they need to deliver their deliverables at that specific time when this is actually listed inside the document. Collaboration between the project stakeholders. Regarding collaboration, it's important to point out that this is also something that will have huge impact on the overall process. And it's not happening only during the BIM meeting. You're having a communication between the teams during the whole week. Additional workshops, video calls, emails, phone calls. All of this is something that you can do to encourage the process and then just ensure that the issues that you are actually discussing during the BIM call, they're being resolved until the next one. And then the last point is regarding verification process and asset information checks. I'll just compare quickly Project A and Project B in the process that we have. Project A, we received and verified asset information and level of the accuracy. And asset and as-built information was delivered to us shortly after the project was actually handed over to the client. When it comes to the Project B, project handover, it actually happened in June 2025. And we are still in the process of finalizing the as-built information at this stage. Just because there were slight differences between the verification process, this can have a huge impact and knock-on effect on the timelines. And the last thing that I want to point out when it comes to the fit-out projects. Huge learning curve, but great experience. And that works for all of them. Thank you.